My journey to being a doula is, I have this, one of my favorite quotes is, "Your path is crooked and beautiful and just as it should be." And that was my way of becoming a doula. I have always been in awe of bodies and reproductive systems since I was a child. I'm the oldest of four children, and so I distinctly remember my mom being pregnant and or breastfeeding, and I would often tag along with a doll under my shirt, breastfeeding my own babies, emulating what I saw. And I've always been drawn to like images in her collegiate textbooks of women giving birth. I was like, oh, this seems really interesting. As I grew older, I heard some of the stories of birth trauma or even traumatic experiences in doctors' offices of the women around me. And I always felt like that shouldn't be the case. Like, people give birth every day. Women are born and have reproductive systems, and folks with a uterus walk around every day. We should not have to feel fear or traumatized or anything like that when it comes to our bodies and our healthcare. As a teenager, I remember I would often commandeer the TV to watch A Birth Story on TLC, and my poor siblings were forced to endure the show many, many times with me because I found it fascinating. I was like, wow, there are these people with different experiences. They also would talk through like the couple and how they were doing and what this new baby would mean for their lives, and it just felt like a very holistic way of understanding the birth experience, and I was fascinated by it. And so that's when I first learned about a doula. I was like, oh, so this person is dedicated to the birthing person, and they just make sure that they're okay. Physically, emotionally, they support the birth team by supporting the birthing person. This seems really cool. But I didn't see melanated people doing it, and so I assumed this was not something that happened in Black and brown communities. And I was like, well, okay, one day I'd like to have one. So then I went to college and I was on the pre-med track at Howard University, but I fell in love with the social sciences more so than the hard sciences. So I switched my majors and I was focusing on studying basically the intersecting ways that trauma impacts women, and in particular how women of color could be better supported by the societies in which they live, so that they have a more fruitful healing process, and a process that involved both the sexes. And so I spent my time in college kind of understanding that. I studied psychology and Spanish and wrote my thesis on it and was like, this is something I want to continue to explore, but I wasn't really sure how. When I graduated, I went to work for a little bit of time as a bilingual crisis counselor for those escaping intimate partner violence. And while I was there, gained a lot more understanding of what it was that I was trying to study, gained a better understanding of how to support people, and ended up deciding to become a social worker. And so I went to Columbia University to study social work, and I focused on entrepreneurship and nonprofit management with a holistic social justice perspective. So I wanted to gain the skills to really oversee the systems that impact people in a way that would allow the systems to better support the people they said they wanted to support. And so during my studies, I met a classmate who was finishing her own doula training, and I was like, girl, let me know the secret. Like, how can I become a doula? Because I don't see melanated doulas. And lo and behold, there was this whole network of melanated doulas, folks who were focusing on addressing the needs that Black and brown women have when it comes to our reproductive health and well-being. And so from that conversation, I went to train at Ancient Song Doula Services, and my training prepared me for full spectrum doula support, which means, from adoption, abortion, postpartum, pregnancy loss, fertility journeys, like the whole 9 yards. And it also focused in particular on how to end infant and maternal mortality for Black and brown women. If you did not know, Black and brown women are 3 to 4 times more likely to die of pregnancy and birth-related complications. And so our training is about helping Black and brown women navigate the medical system so that their voices are heard, so that they feel re-empowered to navigate these systems, and that they have the support they need to know that their lives are valuable and that they are going to be treasured just as they should. So thank you for joining me today. Thank you for checking out this video. Please be sure to subscribe, comment, check us out on social media, visit my website. I want to hear from you. I'd love to know if you have any questions or comments. And I'm also taking suggestions for any other videos that you'd like to see. So thanks so much, and I'll see you soon.